Alrighty. So we're gonna start off cross-legged today, and you can just drape your hands over your legs if you want. You can close your eyes. Let those shoulders relax down. And maybe turn your attention outside your own head right now. So if your thoughts are wandering a million miles an hour, just take a second and maybe listen to what's going on around you. If it's raining, listen to the rain for a sec. And maybe start to focus on your breath. So focus on how deep your breaths are in. Just take a little longer to inhale than you normally would. And start to control the breath out also. So nice slow inhale. And then a very controlled exhale. Breathing in nice and slow. And exhaling the same way. Inhaling nice and slow. Start to lift that chest. Exhale very deeply. Do that 2 more times on your own. Take your time breathing in and out. Okay, we're gonna take the palms, and if they aren't already, just turn them up. So arms still on your legs, but palms turned up. Drop your ear to one shoulder. Breathe in, move your head through the center, and then exhale the ear to the other shoulder. Again, inhale, drop your ear to one shoulder. We're gonna take the opposite hand and give a little bit of pressure. So deeper stretch. You can lower that hand down. We're gonna repeat on the other side. So dropping your ear to your shoulder, hands gonna come up, give a little bit of pressure. Lower that hand down, lift your chin up and just turn the chin, shaking your head no. Okay, return your head to the center. We're gonna take the hands clasped behind your back, open to the chest and lift the chin. We're gonna take the hands in front of us, clasp the hands, stretch them forward and allow the back to round. Again, hands behind you, opening up the chest, lifting the chin. Then one more time, clasping those hands in front of you and stretching out. So you can let those hands go, come back up to neutral. When you're ready, we're gonna walk the hands forward. Nice, easy forward fold. Let's inhale to draw up. We're gonna keep one leg in. Let's send the other leg off to the side. So sitting up a little taller now that our hips are more free, try to lift through the chest. And place the hands in front of us and try to fold between those legs. Then we're gonna walk the hands over toward the extended leg. So both hands are gonna stretch over. And this is still slightly a warm up, so if you can't reach down very far, just kind of place your hands higher up on the leg if you need to. Okay, let's inhale, draw up. We're gonna switch those feet, so one leg goes off to the other side, drawing that foot in. And we're gonna repeat the same thing. We're gonna sit up nice and tall. And then we're walking those hands forward, a little bend here. And then we're gonna continue the stretch by walking over toward that extended leg. So both hands reaching over. Two more breaths. Okay, so now we're gonna draw up. You might wanna back up a little bit, give yourself some space. Both legs are gonna go out nice and wide. A little wide stretch here. And for me personally, I like to have my heels on my mat. So if you wanna turn sideways so that your heels aren't on the floor, you can. Take a second to do that. Not super important, but my heels are bony and it hurts. Okay, so same thing, hands behind us. We're gonna start by opening up through the chest. Taking a couple of breaths. For a couple of yards. We're gonna start to very gradually move the belly button forward. So move your belly button and your chest in toward inside of the legs. And then you can start to relax that spine and fold forward, stretching those hands out. And a couple breaths.
Jenica.
Well, why did you give it to me? She's gonna have a mammogram. She might be her mama.
Ooh, excuse me, cramp. All right, we're gonna come on up. Get this cramp. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna reach both hands off to one side. So both hands here, we're folding over. Again, we're gonna move through the center, exhale to the other side, same thing. Okay, now this time we're gonna keep one hand down in the middle. Try to stretch the other hand up and over. So kind of a side stretch here. Again, we'll inhale, let's place one hand down. Other hand goes up and over. Awesome. You go ahead and pull your body up. Let's bring those legs in. A lot of hip stuff. We'll just kind of rock those knees side to side. Give the hips a chance to cool off here. Awesome. All right, we're gonna go onto hands and knees. So nice and easy here. If you want to wiggle it out some, kind of relax the sides of the body. So hips go to one side, shoulders kind of curve to the other side of the mat. Just kind of stretching out the side of the body just above the hip bone. All right, so returning to neutral, we're gonna have those hands placed directly underneath our shoulders. Pull the shoulders down from the ears. You're gonna keep your head in neutral. Tuck that tailbone just a tiny bit. So we're not gonna be in an arch position. You wanna pull your tailbone, kind of tuck it slightly. Big breath in, and as you exhale, we're gonna kick back with one leg. Nice and strong through your midsection. If you feel strong enough, you can reach out with one arm, keeping that pressure into the floor. One more breath in. We're gonna exhale, place that arm and leg down, give yourself a little wiggle. We're gonna repeat that on the other side. So pulling the shoulders down from the ears, eyes are looking at the floor. We're gonna tuck the tailbone slightly just to keep the pelvis in neutral and your abs nice and tight. Big breath in, exhale and kick the opposite leg out. Try to keep that pressure into the floor, so pushing up nice and strong. If you feel comfortable, you can reach out with the opposite arm. 2 more deep breaths. And we're gonna bring that arm and leg in. Awesome. Okay. So we're gonna move the knees out wide, but rather than bringing the big toes together, let's keep the big toes actually separated a little bit today. We're gonna drop the forearms down and step the hips back just to stretch out on the middle part of the thighs. So you're only going back as far as you can handle. Two more deep breaths here. Okay, and then we're gonna work our body forward again. We're gonna come up off of that position. Let's take one leg, send it off to the side. Let's scoot over so I have some space here. So one leg off to the side. We're gonna take the other arm and place it off to the side of our leg. So leg goes that way, opposite arm on the other side. We're gonna press the hips forward. So rather than sitting back, hips are gonna go forward, and we can reach that hand over to the side into the gate pose. Never seen a gate that looks like this before. Two more breaths. And when you're ready, we're gonna take that top hand, we're gonna walk all the way around toward that extended leg. And we're gonna stretch the body off sideways toward that leg. So we're just resting those hands, those fingertips on the floor. Remember, if you need some extra cushion underneath that knee, sometimes it's good to fold your mat over or grab a pillow. And we're gonna take those hands and move them back to the center. And same thing, we're gonna drop the forearms down. And you can set your hips back as far as you're comfortable to stretch out on the inside of that thigh. Awesome, we're gonna go ahead and bring it forward and get off that knee. Wiggle the legs out if you need it. Okay, so we're gonna repeat this on the other side. So we're gonna start off with being on that knee, other leg off to the side. If you need the extra cushion underneath your knee, you can fold the mat over or grab a pillow. We're gonna place the hand on the outside of that leg and we're pushing those hips forward. We're making a straight line here. And once your hips are forward, you can stretch over with that top arm, yep. So big open line here on the top side of the body. One more breath in. As you exhale, we're gonna move that hand down, walk the hands across the body, over toward the other leg. We're gonna keep the fingertips on the ground and just stretch it over. There you go. So we're just stretching toward that extended leg, all pretzel-like. Okay, then last bit, you can bring your hands back to the center. We're gonna drop the forearms down. Same thing, you can settle those hips back as far as you're comfortable with. Stretching out on the middle of that thigh. Awesome, last breath in. On the exhale, you can move your hips forward. Go ahead and get off of that leg. If you need to wiggle your legs out for a sec, you can. You can sit down on your bottom if you need to. Relax those wrists. If you need to, we can kind of sit cross-legged for a sec. Let's kind of work out the wrists. So fingertips down. And we'll actually roll the wrists slightly. Nice and easy. And then the other direction. All right, we are going to stand on up. So go ahead and take your time getting up there. I move so the camera doesn't cut my head off. Awesome. Okay, so just starting with feet shoulder width wide, let's spread out those toes. Let's move this way a little bit. Spreading out those toes, a couple of breaths. We're gonna bring the hands close together. You can clasp the thumbs or just bring them close together. Reaching those hands up overhead, stretching slightly back. We're gonna turn the chest and shoulders to the side and then circle those arms around. Big flat circle. Like you're one of those twisty fairies that goes like this. And again, you'll inhale, bring your arms up. Stretching back, turning the chest and shoulders to the side. Same thing, exhale, big turn. Trying to keep as much space between your hands as you can. Again, inhale. Stretching back. Turning to the side, big, big hug, pulling those arms way, way back. Opening up through the chest. We'll turn to the front again, big breath in. Last time, off to the side. And exhaling. all the way back. Okay, so for the next one, you will need a wall, or if you're at home and you don't have a wall, just think about pulling back as far as you can. So if you have a wall, we're gonna back up to it. We're gonna place the back of our hands, back of our elbows against the wall. If you don't have a wall, just do this in space, but try to pull your arms back as far as you can go. So we're gonna keep that pinching behind the shoulder blades. We're gonna keep those arms pulled back. And very slowly, we're gonna work the arms up. Only go as high as you can handle. If the shoulders get yucky right about here, then just hang out here. If you wanna keep going, go up only as high as you can handle, keeping as much back pressure on your arms as you can. Then we're gonna repeat on the way down, pulling those arms back, giving yourself some wings. Pulling those elbows in as close as you can go. And again, arms going up. Keeping those hands back. If you don't have a wall, you're pushing back as far as you can. Once you reach the height that your shoulders can handle, you'll come back down. Same thing, keeping in nice and close. Very good. All right, relax those shoulders. We're gonna walk back to the mat if you're not already there. Last little thing will be a balance pose. Okay, so from here, we're gonna pick one of your feet. We're gonna spread out the toes. Push the toes down into the mat, and we're gonna start by bringing one foot in nice and close. Just going into tree pose here. So starting off with just trying to maintain your balance with your feet close together. If you can do that, then you can move your foot up off of the ground and onto your ankle. Or you can start to move up higher. If you want to keep your knee forward for a moment to keep your balance, you can. Once you reach the height that you can go with that foot, excuse me, you can allow the knee to move off to the side. Keeping that lift in the hip. So we're using the hip that we're standing on to lift this outside hip up. We're gonna keep it nice and simple. Just bring the palms together at the chest, lift the chest into the thumbs. Awesome, go ahead and relax that hand, relax that foot down. Let's try on the other side, so spread out the toes, pushing down into the mat. We're bringing that foot in. Pulling up the side of that leg if you have the balance to do so. Start with the knee forward. If you get your balance, you can move it off to the side. Same thing, we're lifting through that hip that we're standing on. So we're not gonna sag here. We're gonna lift this hip up. Bringing those palms together at the chest. Last breath in. We'll exhale, go ahead and lower those arms and that leg down. Awesome, you can go ahead and settle down onto the mat. If you wanna lay on your back or wherever is comfortable, go ahead. And spend these last couple minutes nice and relaxed. Lay here for one more minute if you'd like to. Need to stretch out again or move anything around that we missed. So take the time to do that now. And once you decide you're finished for today, you can sit on up. My online folks, thank y'all for coming. We'll be here again on Wednesday.